Good afternoon, this is Nick with Williams Sewer Line Inspectors. We're doing an inspection here at 7649 Woodrow Wilson Drive of the main sewer line. And what we're looking at right now is in the distance, just a fraction down from the 2014 on the screen, there's a bit of a dark patch that's just past all of this debris. That's actually the city sewer, so we're just a foot off the city sewer here. There's some roots coming into the line at this point, and they're grabbing a bunch of debris. We've gone about 128 feet, so at this point, the ability to move past this debris is very, very limited. And in fact, I can't quite push past it, but what I can see is I can see that we have the city sewer up there ahead, and that these roots are thicker. They do not appear to be damaging the pipe at this point, and that's really the last connection that this pipe makes before it becomes city property. So what we're seeing is just a need for a cleaning of these roots at this time. This in order to reestablish full function of the line. Right now there's no backups in the line. There's not likely going to be a backup anytime particularly soon. But really, waiting for a backup as a reason to clean the line is going to allow roots to get a lot thicker than they really should, and they can start to crack pipes when they get much thicker. So what we should do is just get this line cleaned out. Since it's so far, it's 128 feet from the access location, it's going to need a method of cleaning called hydrojetting. This debris, this amount of debris, should normally be able to be cleaned out with a normal snaking method of cleaning. But once you go over 100 feet, snaking is really not very effective. So hydrojetting is very effective at longer distances. And I would recommend that this get cleaned out right away. I'm going to go ahead and pull back, and we'll see as much of this clay pipe as there is. This is all underneath the city street. I went ahead and located it. It's about 8 feet deep in the city street. It's right where the manhole is. It's right where the city sewer map says that the connection should be. Pulling back, we see this is a clay pipe. Clay is a very resilient pipe for any form of chemicals or water that goes in a system like this. It doesn't corrode or oxidize. It won't erode or deteriorate over time. What clay does do is, since it's not a flexible material, if it's exposed to really an excess, such as heavy root intrusions, getting much thicker, or heavy earthquakes, a clay pipe won't flex. It can crack if it reaches its tolerance point and goes over it. Okay? And this is right where we come into the plastic pipe. So at this point we are in, clay pipe is underneath the street. And as we pull back here, we'll see the plastic pipe that's on property. This was done, I think, in 2001 is when the permit was pulled for this plastic pipe. And it seems to be holding up very well. There's no root intrusions in it, which indicates that they sealed the pipe properly. When a plastic pipe is sealed properly, it will never get root intrusions into it. Maintenance. So, in terms of sewer pipe materials, it's really the best that you get. And we have, it looks like around 90 feet of plastic pipe put into this system, which is great. That's 90 feet which won't need to be worried about at all. What I'm going to do is I'll put a little mark down by the street. It'll be above the plastic pipe in the driveway. It'll be a green spot. And what that'll be the location where a new access would make a much less expensive method of sewer line cleaning viable. The standard snaking method of cleaning usually costs around $150, whereas the typical price for a hydrojet is around $400. To do that as a standard maintenance, it starts to make sense to just expend a little bit of money in order to put in a clean out which makes snaking actually work. We can put it where it's only really having to clean out 30 feet or so of clay line, as opposed to unnecessarily cleaning this 90 feet of plastic line before it even gets to the clay that it's really needed for. And that's completely optional. You can obviously just do hydrojetting as the maintenance, but if you wanted to have a less expensive and just as efficient method of cleaning the line, you could go ahead and have that second access point make that totally possible. As you can see, this plastic line has zero issues, zero roots, no problems. This is where it's located. It's usually underneath this concrete tab which says sewer. It has this plastic cap on top of the pipe. It's just a very standard installation of a cleanout. So again, there's just to wrap up on this line, we have about 90 feet of plastic before we hit the property line. Then we go to a clay material for the pipe, which is standard for Los Angeles to have clay for sewer lines underneath the street. And then we go ahead and run to the city sewer, which is just a few feet off to the side of the manhole out in front of the driveway. And it's about 8 feet deep. At the point of the connection to the city sewer pipe, we have a lot of roots coming in. This is quite typical, and an indication that maintenance hasn't really been done properly on the line. The roots don't seem to be very excessive. I would imagine that they're coming in since some work was done on the line in 2001. So they really haven't had a good chance to get nice and thick or to crack the line. Obviously there's some portions of the pipe which can't be seen because of the roots that are in the line. I would recommend a hydrojetting being done as soon as possible. And that hydrojetting could be done just fine from the access that exists. At the time of the hydrojetting, a video should also verify the portions of the pipe which weren't visible just because of the roots that are intruding and covering that portion of the pipe. It's just a foot or so to the city sewer from that point. Other than that, this is a very good line, properly maintained and installed, and it looks to be definitely in the upper percentages of quality of work done. Again, this is Nick with Williams Sewer Lines Inspectors. Please see my written report for all final findings and recommendations. Thank you very much, and have a great day.